Hi, hello, good evening, and good day. This is Strat Chat, and we are joined here with another house guest from the BBAU house. We've got Annelise here spending some time with us. So, first off, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We definitely have a couple of questions for you because your time in the house was certainly storied. So, yeah, definitely got a couple of questions for you. So, let's not waste any time. Let's just get into this thing. For those of you who are new to us, I am Kyle Penny, and I am joined, as always, by my fabulous co-hosts, John Dunphy and Gina Regino, and it's Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, and you can find us wherever else you find your podcasts. And we are, once again, joined by the amazing Annalise. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to hang out with us. How is your day going so far, and what time is it where you are?
7 a.m. Not too bad.
Oh my God.
You
Extra
cannot
thanks.
drag me out of bed.
Extra thanks for joining us so early.
That's okay.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, couple of questions. First off, let's get comfortable. How familiar were you with the Big Brother experience and Big Brother the show itself before entering the house?
To be honest, not really.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. I know it. Like growing up, I'm from the Gold Coast. We had Dreamworld where Big Brother back in the day used to be filmed. So I used to go to the live shows and all of that. So I kind of familiar there, but like the recent Big Brother, I hadn't really watched. So the producers like, Annalise, your study is to go watch the seasons. So yeah, but to be honest, I wasn't really the strategy thing. I'm not good at that. So before going in the house, I was like, I'm just there to have fun. I had no strategy, no game plan, and clearly that's shown quite well. But
you were just there for a good time and have a nice experience.
yeah, and clearly people thought that was fake or I was cold, apparently from Lewis.
Oh, definitely want to get more into that. Certainly didn't know things about that. I think that's super interesting because you began your Big Brother experience on the BB Express, much to your chagrin. So I'm sure that's not how you expected your experience to start. So tell us what you expected and what was it actually like on that train?
Well, going back to what the producer said, go watch a season. I watched the season prior to me when they're walking in, there's fireworks, they've got champagne, cheese. I genuinely thought I'm standing by the pool, watching my fireworks, drinking my champagne. So when knowing I chose the correct door, was not given that door, and then I got put on the train, I was like, this is horrific. Absolute horrific. This was not in my vision board. This was not what I manifested.
Not on my vision board.
Yeah, and the fact that I was the first one on and the last one off, not impressed.
And we saw his budget.
Yeah,
it was so hot.
That was
Yeah,
that was the toughest thing for me. I can't imagine what it would be like to be the first one to get there where there's no one else with you, and then you have to stay there the entire time.
And it's wild because Big Brother actually didn't have anything involved in the sense of who was going to leave that train. So it was wild that Dion, who had the last opportunity to save someone, could have helped the situation of the correct door situation and still chose Taylor because she was in a pink dress. And she's a sheep farmer. She could have handled that stuff, not me.
She's built for that, right? She's always outside in the elements.
put myself in a different character from the boys. She doesn't care. She's like, whatever. I've got a boy with myself. Like, she's got a son. Like, for me, I was like, not a chance.
That is so funny.
Well, so you did mention that, maybe strategy wasn't something that you had as much of a background in before you came in. And we did see there was the issue of the button press, where you were able to save yourself. And it seemed like you didn't think twice about it for a second. You were like, get me out of here. I'm done. And they had said that there was some kind of a consequence that would be happening from there. So did you think at all of like what that consequence might be or how that might set you up later on in the game?
Oh my God, like when I watched it back, I was like, wow, that looked like that's saucy. Like the fact that I was like, bye, like that's for me. But like, Anna's a feel, she wasn't moving. Zach just like, I think he was like, fuck, I am not gonna be not a gentleman for Annelise. Like, Annelise is really needing a gentleman. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to go home. So I pressed it, and I genuinely thought the consequence was coming for me because Big Brother likes to do that. And then I really don't think the housemates cared. Like, they acted like they did, but like, come on, those girls were in bikinis most of the time anyway, and the boys were always half naked anyway. I think it's also the fact of how he delivered them back that like made me be like, oh my God, as if this is all put on me. Like, he literally put that in the pool.
Yeah, this is specifically your fault now.
Yeah, and I'm just standing there in my clothes being like if that was my clothes, and I'd be crying.
Right. I laughed so hard when they're all fishing their clothes out, and someone was like, "Are you gonna get yours?" And you were like, "I don't have to."
I know, Louis. He was like,
"Oh yeah.
How do I like not rub the salt in the food?" Yeah. Like,
that's so funny, and the thing about that is that like, there isn't really anyone in America that would have actually thought twice about pressing that button. Like, you tell me I have a way to get off this nomination list, I'm out of here. Like, I'm just going to hit the button. It's so interesting to us, like coming from America and knowing our version of this and seeing how everyone else plays. It's like, oh my gosh, this wouldn't even be up for discussion. Everyone's so much nicer than we are.
like, I pressed it, and then the way like Big Brother has like shown everyone being like, don't press it. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're all trying to say that like I'm cold and stuff, and you wouldn't have been in there being cold as well. Like, you definitely would have. Like, they were more strategy than me. Like, come on, you just nominated me.
Absolutely. So why do you think the other two didn't? I don't even remember who they were at this point because so many things have happened since then. But, so like, why didn't they hit it? Was there any conversation like around that after the fact? Or it's just like, just tough, I hit it?
Yeah, there definitely was. I mean, they haven't aired it, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And we'll move on from there.
I don't want to be that person. And Anna Sophia, like, I know you guys have chatted to Anna Sophia. I don't know if she's given her version of why she didn't want to press it, but yeah, she was kind of like that thing. But yeah, there was conversation, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So let's talk about Luke for a moment. And the whole fact that like Luke putting you up in that moment now after the whole button press. Do you feel now after the fact? Do you feel that Luke nominating you was actually motivated by the rejected date? Or was it because you were the catalyst for his clothes being taken away?
Oh, I honestly don't think Luke cares about the clothes. He lives like the Northern Beaches, which is like a beach the whole time. So like, I dead set, the moment I heard my name against those two boys, it was a squeeze vote. Luke is all about a squeeze vote. He squeeze voted Quan out. That was a squeeze vote for me. So I think hearing my name after he had asked me on a date, after he had told me I'm taking you to the end with me to top 3, I was like, you can't tell me anything along the lines of other reasons. It's the fact that I rejected you. It's what, like, it was almost, he was trying to like make a point. Like, oh, you did this? Okay, look at my big balls. I'm going to do this. Like, kind of vibe, you know? Like, I was so hurt. And Gracie May, I think being involved in that was hurtful as well, because she was someone that I did try to, towards the end, when I first was nominated, like really tried to connect with, and we actually had a really great connection. So for how it was shown for them to both be like, yeah, Annelise, I feel like wasn't due to me being a threat or people not connecting with me. I think that was absolute bullshit. Like, I generally think it was Luke being rejected and him having the control of that situation.
Oh, I hate that. I was so heated watching that.
I feel like with that whole situation too, like we saw Gracie May at one point say like Lewis is off the table for me. Like there's no reason that Luke couldn't have said that for you.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't.
How do you go from like literally he says when he was asking the date, like, you know, you're this, you're that, you're this, like, love to take you to top 3. How do you think about this date? To then being like, no, Annelise is a no-brainer. Like, we need to put her up. I'm sorry.
So do you like post-season, is that still kind of like your mindset? Have you like made amends or anything? Because I know like for me watching that back, I was like, she's not obligated to say yes to anything and you're in a position of power and that's not fair. Like, how do you feel about it now post-season after watching everything back?
Oh, I'm just as salty, to be honest. I was like, still crying. I was like, nah. Like, at the time, I love Friends. I'm all about like respecting my friends to a high level. So I felt so not respected at that point that he damaged that friendship majorly. And post show, we've had it like he, you know, called me and we tried to have a chat and he did apologize and took responsibility for his actions. But in the same time, he was kind of still trying to give other reasons. And I accepted the apology, but still to this day, I think he's a great guy, and I think it was a misunderstood situation, but I just don't see myself on his side. No, you can't. And I was his only friend, really. Like, I really don't feel like anyone really connected with him hugely, and he had me. So to, like, take me away,
yeah. That's interesting. Well, since we're on relationships and how things kind of progressed in and outside the house, one question that we've been asking everyone that we've been talking to, because I find her behavior to be very interesting. I enjoy her very much, but I want to know, what's the deal with Gracie May? Like, because like in one moment you'll get her, she's like, oh my gosh, you're not going home. I'm going to make sure I do everything. And then she gets in the diary room and she's like, I'm voting for Anna Sophia. And it's like, what happened? You know, like it's like really wild. And you mentioned here that like, oh, you were a little hurt and surprised that Gracie May was part of the decisioning body, right, that put you up for nomination. So what's the deal with Gracie May?
I can't wait for the day you guys talk to her. She'll be like, what the hell? I think she's a character, and I think when I first went in the house, along with Dion, it was a bit much for me because I'm such an introvert extrovert. So I have a lot of extrovert. Apologies.
There it is.
There it is. I have so much introvert extrovert qualities, but when I go into a room with such extroverts, it's a lot for me. So yeah, I just think she's trying to be a people person, but when she goes into the diary room, she can like Big Brother can twist her a bit.
Okay, that's fair. As you sip your water and go on and do your thing, do you still keep in touch with Gracie May? Where are Annelise and Gracie May at this point? Oh
my god, that was like my biggest pop, yeah. Wowza. Okay. Yes. Since coming off the show, me and her have actually gotten really close. Oh my god, I'm gonna cough again. I'm so sorry.
You do what you gotta do.
It's 7 a.m. where you are. Whatever version of you we receive is absolutely fine.
Oh my god, it's like when you start coughing, it's like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway. We need to have the other night. Like, we are in a really good place and a really good friendship, and I just think she's just like,
oh, good. I can't wait to have a conversation with Gracie May. I can't wait to actually directly ask her what her deal is. It's going to be all all so good. This is gonna be so good.
I'm like being set off now.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is. All right, so
But
go
you'll
ahead,
have a
John.
great conversation with her because she's just like a ball of fun. And I think in the show, she's all chat. So she's like, Big Brother's like,
I can't wait. John, you want to ask something? We have some questions too still on the side. I don't want to just be dominating the whole conversation.
I do want to ask something. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm dealing with a very poor connection right now, so I don't know, like the worst possible timing. But I do have a question. Obviously, you had a very rocky start to the game with Dion, with how he basically got you sent onto the train. But when you were nominated for eviction, we did see him as one of the people that was pretty vocal about wanting to try to help and save you and take you, keep you in the house. So if you had stayed in the house, do you think you would have worked with Dion moving forward, or would he always have been kind of a target for you because of that whole BB Express, experience that he sent you on after a game of rock, paper, scissors?
Oh my God. To be honest, like it's actually wild because we literally went from like being enemies to you guys seeing what he said when my eviction, and he even dressed up like in a suit as like a gentleman. But it's wild because there was a little stage where you don't hear us, but like if you were to watch it again, you can see us in like backgrounds, like chatting, and like at the dinner table we had the questions, we were sitting next to each other, so we did kind of like make amends. I still don't think he trusted me. I still think he was like, nah, she's fake, rah, rah, until it got to that day when Luke did that to me and I was so emotional and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't protected her this long. So I think, if I stayed longer, me and him were already starting to be friends, and I think down the track, I still believe he would have, if he got an opportunity, he would have tried to save me. He would have tried to help me. I think he thought the whole time I was out for him. He thought I wanted him gone. And I think I am, like, this sounds really bad because I'm not forgiving to Luke, but I am a forgiving person. And I pretty much called Dion out on his actions and the way his behavior is. And he just agreed with me and he was like, you are beyond correct. And I think that's what created that mend. So yeah, I think we could have just, been good friends from there.
Well, I heard you when you mentioned the Luke thing. So what's happening there? Why do we have an issue with Luke? Who did
Oh, no, well, Luke was
obviously you know who I mix up? I mix up Luke and Jake all the time.
Oh, sure.
And I just think it's just because of the placement of the K, believe it or not. Like when I imagine syllables and like how I break up a name, like I think because I put the K in the same spot, I just get like a little lost. I was like, wait, what's the problem with Luke? The problem with Luke is everything. Funny, he's the reason why we got up there.
It's funny, you're confusing Jake's name with someone else. He can't remember anyone's name.
Oh my God.
How appropriate.
So Jake and I, you know what? I didn't even know I was in that love triangle. I had no idea. Me and Jake, we were besties. I taught him how to make a bed. I taught him what the word bougie was.
Wait, you taught him how to make a bed? Can we just stop there? He didn't know how to make. How old is he? He's in his early 20s. No, right? Like we're not talking about a 12-year-old.
Oh my God.
Where they like literally showing me and him, like me teaching him how to make a bed.
Oh my gosh! Make sure we remember that when we get to have a conversation with him.
Oh my God, no! But we had actually such a cool connection, and I think Jake was just like hot girl tick, yes, hot girl, another tick, and it was just like add on. Like now that Bella's in, he's like, hello, like yeah. And I think he did have a connection with me because I love connection. I love making friends with people. Mm-hmm. But then Ari was the first girl to turn around to him and say, it's me. I said that to him. There could have been a chance for him to
do. That's interesting.
We just needed someone to be like, Jake, pull it in. Here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now you being evicted now means that 3 women in a row have left this house. Did you think to factor that into your eviction pitch? Like, did you even notice that at that time? Did it happen so fast? Like,
yeah, 110%. It could not have been any more obvious. The boys were so strong, and unfortunately, the girls weren't. The girls, like, I never was threatened, but it's as if there was a few girls in there that were just threatened. They followed everything the boys said, and I did sit down, which obviously they haven't aired, but I did sit down and say, right now, numbers are against me. If all the boys keep the boys, numbers are against me, and I'm going home. And I knew I was going home. I knew there was some girls like Monet. I knew she was going to vote me out. Like the sisters, you don't really know how they're going to vote. So, yeah.
That's fair. What are some of the girls that you felt were threatened? Who was acting like they were threatened? And we'll wait. We have some more coughing here.
She's still coughing. Oh no.
Like all morning. Wow. Threatened. To be honest, you don't really feel the threat. You just know by the girls voting out the girls that
I feel so bad.
I'm so sorry.
The way it goes. The way it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. You almost like was Monet and the sisters. You know, Tay was really close to the boys. Ari was close with the girls, so it was kind of hard for them because they're both creating one vote. Tay was with Josh, you know.
Right.
So I think, yeah, you don't physically feel the threat, but you kind of, as you watch back, you're kind of like, well, there has to be another reason why the girls don't have each other's back.
Right. Like this is starting to make sense. This is making some sense. I find it interesting to be that it's the girls that are kind of teaming up on each other, or kind of like ganging up on each other rather, because like, why do the guys want that to be the situation? Like, you know, coming into this, you knew that this was supposed to be themed as like, you know, the House of Love and everything like that. So why are we sending out the people that we're supposed to be paired with? Like,
yeah,
as Gracie May said, that this is now becoming a sausage fest. So like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here?
I actually have no idea what the boys' thought process was just taking girls out, but I think maybe it's like, we can control the boys, so let's control that. And then let's girls that we can, maybe, so to say. Maybe I know that Louis saw me as a threat because I was strong and I was opinionated, and I, you know, so maybe people felt like Quan, easy vote out, Anna Sophia, that was kind of like, it was between Zach or Anna Sophia, so maybe easy vote. And maybe with me, Luke did squeeze vote me, and I don't think he was a part of the alliance. I think he was just like doing his own rejection situation. But I think in the scheme of things, no one had my back because I was the girl and I was against two boys. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's super. Yeah. All right. So if you had this entire experience to redo, is there anything that you would do differently?
I would love to say that, like, I thought about what I would say that I would say yes to the date. I generally, like I said in my plead, I don't believe you can just fall in love with that. Like, I can't even go out to a bar with 100 people and be like, oh my God, I found my guy. Like, I'm in a room of 15 people. You're not going to tell me I'm falling in love with 15 people. Like, yes, you can create connections, but I think I just have this feeling like girls are just saying yes for the sake of the show. And but not everyone. I think, you know, others definitely had a connection. But for me, yeah, I would love to say that. But unfortunately, no, I stick to my morals. And I think how I played, what I played is how I am. And I think I can't be fake. So, no, I don't really feel like I could do anything different because I was me. I think in that situation, you can't even predict how your connections are going to be because you're trying to be your true self, but you're walking into a house trying to prove yourself constantly. And we're in a short show, so things are happening so quickly that you don't even give that chance for people to actually get to know you.
Right.
So, yeah, I just think it's one of those things.
I love that. You stick to your guns. I love that.
Honestly, maybe like, I don't know, if Josh or TJ asked me on a date, I'd have been like, hot, tall, dark, handsome. Like, and I would have said yes. But, you know, like I couldn't have done it with someone that he was a friend.
Who do you speak to now after the fact?
Pardon?
No, I'm sorry. What did you say? I need to move on. What
Imagine
did you
if I
say?
had to go on a date and then I had to kiss him. I don't want to kiss him. Like,
I don't want to kiss you.
no.
Like, even in keeping with that, like, I kind of felt bad for you, even in that Luke moment where he was asking you to go out, and you're like, well, I see you as a friend. Like, it felt uncomfortable, and I was like, oh gosh, like, I feel like this could reflect poorly on her, but that's also not fair, because I shouldn't feel forced to go on a date or spend time with you if that's not really vibing with you.
I think it was kind of like there was a bit of a misled situation because we were generally friends and I felt this friend connection. And then at the dinner party, he got a question saying, who would you take on a date? And I'm like, shit. Like, and so then I had to like backpedal and be like, how do I nicely say yes, even though deep down I know it's no? Like, I can't just at the dinner table be like, no, in front of everyone. So that's when I was like, yeah, I love Luke. And people was like, you love Luke? I'm like, no, I like adore, I like, I rah, rah, rah. Like, I was like pedaling hard. Like, and I said yes. So I think then Big Brother was like egging him on, being like, all right, Luke, you found your connection, go for it. So I think like I was kind of set up there in a sense because that's not how I actually think our friendship was going. Like, I don't think we had any of that spark. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just lie for the sake of it. Like, that's not fair to me either, you know?
Yeah, like I didn't want to be that person, but like it was just kind of like, I just want to be honest. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Do you speak to anyone else like outside the house now that we've been removed from this this social experiment for so long?
Yeah, crazily enough, me and Bella are like besties.
Really?
I didn't see it on the show, but as soon as she came in, I was her girl. Even on my night of being evicted, she pulled me aside and was kind of like, I'm so sad to see you go. And since the show, she's come to the Gold Coast. I've gone to Melbourne. So we're really close. And like,
nice.
I'm still talking with Taylor and Anna Sophia, Gracie May, TJ, Josh, and Jake.
Yeah. Oh, okay. A decent amount of people.
Yeah, so and that's the crazy thing. I actually had really great friend connections with people. That one, I guess you don't see, but two, in the house, it's so much pressure. So after the show, when we like have kind of been able to have these friendships, they're actually the people that I'm friends with, and it's for me. I think that's more reflection into who I am than the people that aren't really in contact with everyone. You know, right. I think in the house, maybe that was where the fakeness came.
And especially to be able to make connections like that actually last, because you didn't spend that much time in the Big Brother house. So like to be this removed from it and you still have those connections, I think that speaks to everybody involved, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like, you know, I've actually like hung out with these people. So I think, yeah, like it feels good. Like for me, it feels really good. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Would you ever play Big Brother again?
100%. I feel like I have this like fire in my belly, like get me back and I will play the game. Like that's how I like feel now. Like, yeah, so I would do it, and I would probably do it with a bit more fire in my belly, a bit, maybe not as nice, Annelise.
Okay.
I know.
I would like to see that.
Like, the crazy thing is, I have it in me. But like back then, I just come out of a toxic relationship. I was all like precious and like, you know, just feeling the energy. But now I'm like this confident girl that's just like, you don't know what cross my path.
Yeah, now it's game on. You got a whole different Annelise. I've been around the block before.
I know how this works. Get me back, and yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. John and Gina, did you have any other questions for Annelise before we close this thing out?
I think that's pretty much all I had.
Great.
Nope.
Everybody's satisfied. So Annelise, where can our friends find you on the socials?
Oh, like my handle.
Yeah, share your handles.
Okay. Just Annelise Drake. A-N-E with an E, L-I-S-E, Drake.
Good.
Yeah,
nobody love that. Simple. Yeah. Clarify for all the people who are only listening and not actually watching us. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They don't even know I'm coughing the whole time.
No, they don't. Except the fact that we kept mentioning it. But otherwise, no, they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah. Love that. me DM. I'll say hi.
I love it. I love that. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you to our friends at Channel 7 for making this possible. This has been an absolute blast. We're having a great time. You can catch our recap of the first week and all the goings-ons in the house. That'll be coming out within the next 24 hours. You know, we're busy people because we got a lot of other Big Brother going on in our lives, but absolutely find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Again, 7 a.m. So much credit to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Guys,
Have
I
a
really
fantastic
appreciate
day. Yeah. Thanks so much. Thank you.
it. Bye.
Bye,
Big love.
babe.